Well, good morning, everyone. Let's talk about the weather. As we sit here on this lovely day, September 6th, 2025, it's hard to think about winter. But believe me, it is just around the corner. And this year it looks like Mother Nature has a big surprise in store for our friends in Asheville and the beautiful southern Appalachians. We are not talking about your typical mild southern winter. No, the signs are pointing to something much more memorable. This is the kind of winter that people will be talking about for years to come. It's time to start thinking about those cozy sweaters and warm blankets. You might be used to winters that come and go with just a little bit of chill. Maybe you get a dusting of snow that melts by the afternoon. But this upcoming season is shaping up to be different. We are looking at a pattern that suggests a more severe and prolonged winter experience. The air will feel crisper, the winds will bite a little harder, and the landscape will likely be covered in a beautiful blanket of white for longer than usual. It's a season that will demand our respect and our preparation. So let's get you ahead of the curve and tell you what's coming your way. The forecast models and long-range predictions are all starting to align. They are painting a picture of a winter that is colder and snowier than what we have seen in recent years. This isn't just a hunch. It's based on some tried and true methods that have been used for centuries. When we see these kinds of indicators, we know it's time to pay close attention. It means we need to get serious about preparing our homes, our cars, and our families for what could be a challenging yet beautiful season. The mountains are going to look absolutely stunning, but you want to be ready to enjoy them safely. So, what does this mean for you? It means it is time to start the conversation now. Don't wait until the first cold snap arrives to find out your furnace isn't working or your winter coat has a broken zipper. This is your friendly heads up. We are going to walk you through exactly what to expect, from the coldest temperatures to the biggest snowfalls. We will look at the science behind these predictions and give you some simple, practical tips to make sure you are ready for anything this winter throws at you. Let's get into the details, shall we? Now, let's look at one of my favorite resources, the Old Farmer's Almanac. This publication has been making weather predictions for over 200 years, and it has a fascinating track record. For this winter of 2025, the Almanac is calling for some very specific conditions in the southeast. The big headline is that temperatures are expected to be much colder than normal, especially from December all the way through March. We are talking about a sustained period of cold that will feel different from the brief cold snaps you might be used to. This is a true, old-fashioned winter settling in for a long stay. How does the Almanac come up with these predictions? It's a really interesting process that is part science and part tradition. They don't just look at recent weather trends. Instead, their formula takes into account historical weather patterns going back decades. They also study solar science, looking at things like sunspots and other solar activity. The idea is that the sun's cycles have a direct impact on our weather here on Earth. By combining these different fields of study, they create a long-range forecast that gives us a glimpse into the season ahead. It's a secret formula, but it has certainly stood the test of time. So, when should you really bundle up? The Almanac points to a few specific periods when the cold will be at its most intense. Mark your calendars for mid to late December, right when the holiday season is in full swing. Imagine a classic white Christmas. Then, another deep freeze is expected in late January, which is often the coldest part of the year anyway. Finally, look out for another blast of Arctic air in early February. These are the times when you will want to have extra firewood stacked, your pantry full, and your warmest socks ready to go. The chill will be no joke during these periods. This consistent cold is the foundation of the winter forecast. It's what will set the stage for all the other weather we are going to talk about, especially the snow. When the air is this cold for this long, any moisture that moves into the region has a much better chance of falling as snow instead of rain or sleet. That is why we are paying such close attention to these temperature predictions. They are the key that unlocks the rest of the winter story. And that story, my friends, is going to be a snowy one for many of you. All right, let's get to the part everyone always asks about, the snow. This winter, the Old Farmer's Almanac is predicting a fascinating split in snowfall across the region. It's a tale of two different winter experiences. For areas to the north, the forecast actually calls for slightly less snow than usual. But for our friends in the south, including Asheville and the surrounding southern Appalachians, it is a completely different story. The prediction is for above-average snowfall. That means more opportunities for sledding, more stunning mountain views, and yes, more reasons to have that snow shovel handy by the door. So, when can you expect the biggest snowfalls? The Almanac is highlighting 3 key periods for major winter storms. The first one is set to arrive in late December. This could bring significant accumulation right in the middle of the holidays, creating a truly magical winter wonderland scene across the mountains. The second major event is forecast for late January, coinciding with one of the coldest periods of the winter. When you combine intense cold with heavy moisture, you get the perfect recipe for a powerful snowstorm. This could be one of the biggest storms of the season, so it's one to watch very closely. The snow doesn't stop there. The entire month of February is expected to be very active with storm systems. The Almanac suggests that February could see several rounds of snowfall rather than just one single event. These might not all be blockbuster storms, but the cumulative effect could lead to a very high snow total for the month. It will feel like winter is doubling down, refusing to let go its grip. This pattern of frequent snow will keep the ground covered and the winter spirit alive and well throughout the month, leading us into the early days of March. This north-south split in the snow forecast is all about the storm track. The predicted path of major weather systems this winter seems to favor a southern route. These storms will pull in moisture from the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic and carry it right into the cold air sitting over the southern Appalachians. The mountains then do their part, lifting that moist air and squeezing out even more snow. It's a classic setup for a big winter in Asheville, and all the ingredients appear to be coming together for the winter of 2025. Knowing what's coming is only half the battle. The other half is being prepared. So, let's go over a simple checklist to get your home and family ready for a colder, snowier winter. First, think about your home. Before the cold arrives, have your heating system checked by a professional. You want to make sure it's running efficiently and safely. Also, check your windows and doors for any drafts. A little bit of weather stripping or caulk can make a huge difference in keeping the cold air out and the warm air in, which will also help you save on your heating bills. Next, let's talk about your car. Winter driving in the mountains can be tricky, especially with more snow in the forecast. Make sure your tires have good tread. If you live in a higher elevation, you might even consider investing in a set of snow tires. It is also a great idea to put together a winter emergency kit for your car. This should include things like a blanket, extra gloves and a hat, a flashlight, a portable phone charger, some snacks, and a small shovel. If you get stuck, you will be very glad you have these items with you. It is also important to have an emergency plan for your family. What will you do if the power goes out for an extended period? Make sure you have a supply of non-perishable food and water that can last for at least 3 days. Have flashlights, batteries, and a battery-powered radio ready to go. Talk with your family about where to meet and how to communicate if you get separated. Having a simple plan in place can reduce a lot of stress during a winter storm and ensure everyone stays safe and sound until things get back to normal. Finally, don't forget to embrace the season. A snowy winter in Asheville is a beautiful thing. Once you have done all your preparations, you can relax and enjoy it. Stock up on hot chocolate, find your favorite board games, and get your sleds out of the attic. Share what you have learned with your neighbors and check on elderly friends to make sure they are prepared too. A strong community is the best defense against any storm. And that's what's up with your winter forecast. Stay safe and enjoy the snow.